Hi gamers, and thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to review War of the Networks. Let's check it out. Okay, so in this game you are going to be one of these four networks. You're going to be ABZ, ZBS, MBZ, or an independent station because Fox didn't exist back then. But if they did, it would have been FOZ, I'm sure. And you're going to all place your pawns right here on the start section and move around the board Monopoly style. They even give you dice as well, and the instructions, which are brilliant, look like a TV guide. If you'll see, it starts at 8 a.m., goes all the way through here. They're just giving you points on the game all the way to 11:30. I love that. Looks like a, what channel and what time. Looks like a TV guide. The instructions are just brilliant and they're very easy to follow. In fact, it's so simple. When rolling doubles, you get to move that amount of spaces forward or half of that amount backwards. So if I rolled 2 doubles, I can move 10 forward or 5 back. Why do I want to do that? Well, maybe I missed a show that I could really get, or something really good I could do if I move backwards instead of forwards. So you have the option of moving backwards. Instructions so simple. It says if a player rolls doubles, and it says both dice show the same number. Wow, I'm super happy they told me that, just in case I was playing with someone who'd never seen dice before. Anyway, I have the game upside down because I wanted to show you some of these pictures. It actually starts this way up. You'll be planning, as you're buying shows, you're going to put them in these slots from 8 p.m. all the way to 10:30. But look at this, mush, claws instead of jaws, 2's a crowd instead of 3's a crowd. So there's a lot of fun little jokes around here. And these are movies and TV shows that are from the 70s. I'll show you some more examples in a minute. Now, as you're moving around the board and rolling the dice, you're going to be following the instructions on the squares. You may choose to buy a TV show to put in your schedule. Each round, there's 3 rounds in the game. The first round, you're trying to complete Friday night schedule. Second round, Saturday nights, and the final round, Sunday night schedule. Now, a round ends when the players all reach start again. So let's say everyone was here and the red player was the first. I rolled a 7. Well, instead of going 7, I have to go 1, 2, 3, and I have to wait for all the other players to get around the board before we can start tallying up. Now, this stops the runaway leader problem. If someone kept going around, they could be scheduling for Saturdays and you could always be behind them. No, it has to wait till everyone's here, regardless if they rolled the exact number or not. They stop here. When everyone's here, then we add up the shows for that night. Now, like I said, the board's upside down, but I'm just going to show you some examples of some things we could do. So let's say Independent's not playing. It's just ZBS, MBZ, and ABZ. So what is going to happen with ABZ today? Well, ABZ is going to be playing their favorite show, Mush. And Mush will be on the ratings there. And to end off the night, they're going to put in Tall and the Family. Now, of course, they'd be putting all the shows here in this row while they went around the board, and it would be upside down. But just for this example, that's what they did. Now, MBZ, they're going with a big movie for the night, Godmother, and that's how they want to end off their night, with the Godmother. ZBS wants to do something a little different. They want to do Happy Nights first. Instead of Happy Days, Happy Nights. And then they're going to end it with the Incredible Bulk. Yes, it's in the Edible Bulk. That's great. So the Edible Bulk starring Bill Bixby will be right there. Now, as you're bouncing around for that round, if you land on a better show, like I land on this one called Suds, oh man, that's a better ranking than the Godmother, maybe I want it. So I would pull Suds from it if I bought it, and I would have to bump Godmother up or around. So let's say if I had all these open, Godmother would be bumped up there, and now I could play Suds right there and hopefully have a half-hour show I can put there. However, let's say the top is all full and I got Suds. Well, I would have to, whichever one I bumped would be bumped off the list, thrown in the trash because I can't reuse it for the next night. So I'd trash this one, and then I'd have Suds in that spot. As you're going around the board, you may also land on stars. Now, you can choose, again, just like you can choose to buy shows or not, you can choose to buy stars or not. Stars cost $2 million each. Now, at the beginning of the game, I forgot to show you this, but it has all this cash money here that you'll be giving out to players. Everyone starts with $20 million, so they'll get 3 of these, 4 of the $1 millions, and 5 of the $200,000 ones. So they'll have money to spend every round, and what they're going to do is they're going to buy whatever shows they want or buy a star. A star costs $2 million. Now, stars can be added to any of your shows, and they can add to the ratings. So for instance, look at Rome EO. He'd be a +1 in viewers. And now here's my favorite guy, Chicken Lips Bernstein. Yeah! He's worth 4 because everyone loves Chicken Lips. So if you have these characters, you could put them on your shows like that, and they would add to your ratings later on that ratings war. Now, as you're going around the board, you may be able to steal a show from someone or steal a star. In that case, you would have to pay them $2 million for that star. As you see, there are also flashcards on the board. These are the flashcards. These nice, they're very sturdy cardboard cards here. And they can allow you to do great things like reschedule or whatnot, win or lose money, shows now canceled, exchange a star. They could be good or bad, and you have to do exactly what it says when you land on a flashcard. And of course, there's the flashcard discard pile. They tell you where everything is. It's very simple. Now, like I said, as you're going around the board, you're building up your schedule. At the end of that round, you're going to add up all the shows. So for instance, let's say it's the end of Saturday's round and we're having to add up all of our shows. Well, in this one, Happy Night's got a rating of 12, Suds got a rating of 14, and Mush got a rating of 12. So of course, Suds would win the round. Now let's say Suds was down here though, and there wasn't anything in that half-hour slot. So now we have a 12 and a 12. But remember, we have our star here, and he counts 13. So ZBS would win the night, and they get $4 million for that half-hour slot. Then we go down to the next half hour. The inedible bulk is an 8, plus 4 is 12. Suds is 14, and Mush is a 12. That means Suds would win. Looks like Suds would win everything here, right? So we go down again. Inedible bulk loses again. MBC got 14, but look, Tall and the Family got 14. What are you doing in the case of a tie? In a tie, you'll split the winnings 2 ways. Each station will get $2 million each. Now, what if I had the inedible bulk at a 14 as well? If that was the case, then it would be a 3-way tie, and everyone would split and get all 3 players would get $1 million each. What if I was playing with the independent player and they had a 14 show? If it was a 4-way tie, if it's a 4-way tie, no one gets money and you move on to the next round. Now, like I said, as you're moving around the board, you're filling out each day's schedule. You can't fill out Sunday's schedule on Saturday's turn, or, go back in reverse and put some Saturday shows when you're on Sunday's turn. They have to go, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. I'll get to tell you why at the end. At the end of the game, once you have scored up Sunday, then you're going to go through all of your days, and you're going to say who had the best 8 to 8:30 spot, who had the best 8:30 to 9 spot, and so on and so forth. And whoever had the most over all 3 nights, they're going to get another bonus $4 million, or split it if that's the case. At the end of the game, the person with the most money will win. Now, one other thing that happens on these cards, now they're a little too small to see, but every time you buy a show, you're going to put one of these little chits on the show to show that you own it. So, for instance, Hobo's Heroes instead of Hogan's Heroes. Let's say I own that. I would put my red tag there, showing that I own the game. If I bought another one here, like Little Shack on the Range, which is better than having a house on the prairie, I put one here. Now, sometimes you may have 2 chits on the same show. Why is that? Well, if you have a star on that show, then you would put an additional chit in there. Now, that would make a difference, because if another player was moving around, they landed on my show, and let's say it just had 1 chit, I owned it. Well, they're going to have to pay some fees if they want to rerun that show, and they have to pay me, in this case, $600,000. However, if I had a star attached to that show, now they have to pay me $1.2 million. So they have to pay me double the cost now, or actually the full cost of the show, because it has a star on it. So that's another way other players can make money, just like in Monopoly when you have houses and hotels. Now, like I said, the first round, you're probably not going to run into this problem that much, but the second round and third round, people are going to start buying up these shows, and you're going to be paying a lot of money. So the game's going to cost you a lot more as the rounds go by. Just a little added thing they put in the game, which I think is brilliant. And that is the war of the networks. All right, so final thoughts. What do I think about this game from the 70s? All right, so I heard about this game, what was it, like a year or so ago, and I had to get it. I had to try it out. I am familiar with a lot of the shows, not all of them. I do miss out on a few of the jokes there, but this is a great game. Is this a good, this game is a cheap game to get. I got mine for super cheap, so you can find this for really cheap online. If you like 70s TV shows, this is the game for you. It's easy to play, easy to teach, and a lot of fun. You get a lot of laughs out of the shows too, and going up against other stations for the most viewers is a very simple mechanism. Going around the board is Monopoly-like, so it almost could be a gateway game to some older people just to see all the knockoff shows. And you can ask them, what is this knocking off? And they'll go, that's that. I haven't tested that out myself with my parents, but I think my parents would play this game only because they'd be familiar with a lot of the TV shows they were joking on and maybe help me out on some of the jokes. Because like I said, only half of them I probably get. But I do think it's a fun game. Running your own TV station is always fun. And for the right price, it is definitely worth your time. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, game on.